We are starting the session. So, welcome to this session. Good evening from Bangladesh. Though our speaker is from Sydney, Australia. This session is broadcasted in live platform, Facebook and LinkedIn. So people can join and watch the session live in those platforms. And those who are connected in this Zoom session, they can actually, after the session, we'll take the session 30 to 35 minutes. Then we'll go for the question and answer session. At the session, you can participate. You can put on your video and you can ask questions to the speaker after 30 or 35 minutes after the presentation concludes. And those who are in live broadcast in Facebook or LinkedIn, they can ask questions through Facebook or LinkedIn chat so that I can collect that chat or questions and I can ask the speaker to answer those questions. So welcome to this session. This is a bit technical sessions, but it will be presented as like non-technical sessions so that everybody who are joining here, not that everyone need to be tech guy, but anyone who are actually managing project, especially IT projects, especially digital transformation projects, they all will be benefited from this session. So today's session is Kubernetes for project managers and professionals. So we have with us Mr. Masood Parvez, today's speaker. Let me tell something about his profile. Then we'll start and hand over to him. So Masood Parvez is a senior cybersecurity and cloud professional with over 26 years experience across banking, telecom, and enterprise sectors. He specializes in AWS cloud security, DevSecOps, automation, and secure platform design. Masood holds a master's of cybersecurity engineering from University of New South Wales, Sydney, Australia. He enjoys mentoring teams and building resilient secure systems. So now I am requesting Mr. Masood to please take over the session. Over to you. Please.
Thank you, Shahid Reza. Let me share my screen first. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, visible. Please.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is okay. Let me introduce myself regarding the sessions for Kubernetes for project managers and professionals. This session is more about the understanding of the Kubernetes in non-technical ways. It will give a clear understanding of what it is, why it is matters to you as a project manager and professionals. I hope in the audience, few of you have a little bit of understanding of Kubernetes. If not, this session might benefit you to understand and Kubernetes clusters or Kubernetes. Let's discuss about why Kubernetes matters. If we think about the project we delivered previously, it's delivered in a bigger chunks and it takes a lot of times. Business expect faster release better customer experience, and system that can grow instantly when demand increases. First, the scalability. Today's demand can change quickly. A marketing campaign can bring thousands of new users in a minute. Product launch can create unexpected traffic. Without the right platform, system crash and slowdown, leading to customer frustrations and business loss. It also means better cost control because you only use what you need. Secondly, resiliency. Kubernetes consistently monitor application. If something fails, it restart it. And finally, delivery speed. Kubernetes supports DevOps practice. Teams can release update more frequently and more safely. Now discuss about the session learning outcomes. What Kubernetes is explained in simple words. By the end of today's session, we should feel confidence about the three key things. First, discuss about the Kubernetes is in simple language. Kubernetes is a platform that helps organizations run their application in a reliable and automated way. Think of it as an operation manager for softwares. It makes sure applications are running, replace them if they fail, and adjust resources based on demand. If more user arrives, it increases capacity. If traffic drops, it reduces capacity to save cost. It removes a lot of manual effort and replaces it with automations. The simple idea is powerful. Now discuss about why it is critical to the digital transformations. Digital transformation is not only about moving to the clouds, it's about changing how organizations deliver values. Customer expect fast update, high availability, and smooth digital experience. Business need to innovate quickly and respond to change. In short, Kubernetes helps organization become more agile. It supports faster innovation, strong reliability, and better cost control. Let's discuss about how it affects project planning, risk, and delivery. For a planning perspective, Kubernetes changes how infrastructure is handled. Instead of large upfront hardware investment, resource can be scaled based on need. Planning becomes more flexible, and you can design system to grow gradually rather than building a maximum capacity from day one. What is Kubernetes? Discuss the terms parts in a non-technical way. Kubernetes is a platform that manages, runs container-based applications. Now, that may sound technical, so let me break it down. Modern application is often packaged into something called container. You can think of a container as a small box that holds an application and everything it needs to run. This makes the application portable and consistent. It can run the same way on a laptop, in a test environment, or in the cloud. a developer can run their application on their laptop before they can release it for testing in a bigger platforms, and then user can use it. In simple terms, think like it is an automated manager of applications. If the application stops, Kubernetes restart it. The application doesn't bother about the logic of restarting. Kubernetes helps to restart those applications. If more users start using the application, Kubernetes gives it more resources. If few people are using it, Kubernetes reduces the resource to save money. Application developer only bother about their application. They don't need to bother about how that is used and how the resource is utilizing their applications. Kubernetes infrastructure helps to scale seamlessly. Now you can ask, why should we care? There are several reasons. Many modern applications, especially in cloud environments, runs on Kubernetes. If you are managing digital projects, cloud migration, website, mobile apps, or internal business system, there is a high chance Kubernetes is working in the background. If not, it will be in the future. Let me explain with a simple example. Imagine you are managing a large event. You need enough staff when the crowd is big. If few people attended, you reduce the staff to save the cost. If someone called in sick, you quickly replace them. Kubernetes does same thing similar, but for software applications. It adjusts automatically based on demands and keep everything running smoothly. Let's look at the diagram to understand and clear the idea what we discussed. Think about the users who are sitting on the laptops or mobile apps. They are connecting to the application. It could be a web applications where you serve a newspapers, or it could be a web application where you register for an account for a banking applications, or it could be a information you need for your team. Like we support Bangladesh team for cricket, we get the informations. Those small application, different application can run on a container. The benefit of it is it's separate a small function of the application and put it into a container, which is like a box. So you put the application in a box, and if you need to put the same things, similar thing, like you put your clothes, you parceling a clothes to outside the world, say for example, you put it in a blocks. Your demand increase, some more people order more clothes, you put it as another box, similar size box. If more demand exists, you put similar size box, which is compared for the application. Like it's a scale. It's a scale horizontally. In old days, when you bought servers, it's normally a scale vertically. And those applications put into the Kubernetes, what we are discussing now. And those apps is deployed in the Kubernetes, a scale, up, down, restart, fails, all handled by the Kubernetes. The beauty of the Kubernetes is it can run on the on-prem servers, or it could be run on the cloud. Like if you think about old days, the physical servers, you run the applications, but that server, you need to do the clustering kind of thing for the application to fail over the package. But those are the packages are bigger ones. It costs more. You need a physical server instantly to support more resources. Because of the cloud, the scale is seamlessly, you can add more nodes into the container also. And that's how in the background Kubernetes does. Let's discuss about the business value of the Kubernetes. In today's world, system cannot afford to go down. Customer expect service to be available all time. Even a few minutes of downtime can impact revenue, reputations, and customer trust. For a business point of view, this reduces operational leaks. It improves uptimes. It protects brand reputations. It helps organizations meet service level agreements. Kubernetes support enterprise level security practice. It's allow control access through role-based permissions. It supports network isolations between applications. It integrates with monitoring and logging tools for audit visibility. It's also support governance by defining infrastructure and application setting as code. This means configuration are consistent, traceable, and repeatable. Change can be reviewed and approved before deployment. For a leadership perspectives, this provides better outside oversight and control. It reduces configuration drift. It supports compliance with industry standard and regulatory requirement. The things we are discussing is in the physical way of deploying application in the physical servers. Those things normally perform after you deploy the application on those things. But in the Kubernetes, it's an automated way. You can automate those processes to speed up the delivery. Now talk about few common challenges. The first challenge is skill gap between the teams. Without right skills and share understanding, project can slow down or face avoidable issues. The second challenge is security and governance complexity. Kubernetes is powerful, but it must be configured carefully. Access control, network policy, container image management, security handling all require attention. A small misconfiguration can create security postures. The third challenge is integrations with existing enterprise systems. Most organizations do not start from zero. They already have identity system, monitoring platforms, legacy applications, and data services. Kubernetes must integrate with those existing components. And that's a big challenge where you need some kind of integrations or automation to go through that path. The fourth challenge is operational monitoring and troubleshooting maturities. Kubernetes automatically automate many processes, but when something goes wrong, diagnostics issues can be complex. You may need visibility into the container performance, network communications, Resource users, as a project leaders, you should ask few questions. Do we have the right monitoring in place when we deliver Kubernetes cluster applications? Are the role clearly defines the incident response? Are we prepared to handle production issue effectively? Now we are end of the sessions. What we discuss, there, there are few learning paths we have to go through to understand the Kubernetes in better way. You should also understand the basic concept of cloud concepts. Why is compute, storage, and networking in the clouds? What is compute, storage, and networking in the cloud? What does scaling means? What is high availability? How does user-based pricing works? Applying through the real project scenario for project manager, this could means participating in architecture workshops or reviewing real development plans. For technical members, it means hands-on labs and proof of concept projects, working through real scenario, build confidently. It exposes challenges such as integration, security settings, and monitoring gaps. It turns theory into practicals. Start with container and cloud foundations. Move to core Kubernetes architecture and components. Then focus on security monitoring and operations. Finally, everything through real world project scenario. Think about in real life scenario, think about in a school, they are serving lunch for the student, but you have to buy the lunch. Now the school want to move into online ordering systems to help the parents to order their lunch. There is a shift here for the project managers. In the old way, the school staffs managing the customer manually. The customer at the lunch time, they comes and order their food. On the time, they list down what they want. The staffs had to take the order, then handle the money manually, and then they have to serve the order. But when this becomes an online order, what happens is the parents place the order and then the staff get the order list through online. The payment they don't too worried about. The payment has to done through the ordering systems. What they need to worry about, they have to serve it. So the queue for the customer get less time to deliver the products, the food. It looks simple in a way, and it gives a lot of benefit for the parents and for the school also. There are a lot of manual handling is eliminated. But in the background, think about when the parents place their orders and school get the orders, there is a lot of dependency on the internet. The staffs need to understand the system also. And they need to look at the networking behind the application also to troubleshoot if there is an issue. If the internet is good down, they cannot serve the customers, although they have done the ordering. When the when the parents place their order, if some people has the allergy things, they have to place the order in allergy so that the product which has allergy that doesn't consumed by the student. So the health information is also get into the order list. And the payment information is also there. The thing about the school, when they get the order, school has to maintain those things. Like it has to protect the customer, their privacy, data privacy. It has to protect their health informations. They have to comply with the government policy for that once. So although Kubernetes application or deployment looks simple, in the background, all the project manager or professional, if they don't understand the impact of delivering the product, it will not be a success. It reduced a lot of manual effort, deliver faster, but it creates a lot of complexity on top of it. Thank you for attending the session. If you have any questions, please feel free to answer those.
Okay, thank you, Masood, uh, for the session. Now we are entering into the question answer session. If anyone joining here want to ask any questions related to Kubernetes or cloud platform or security, cyber security, you can ask any question here. So speaker is here to answer you. So if you have any question, you can ask now. Just you can on your video and you can ask questions. So can you stop the sharing?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, please. So if you have any question from any corner from the participants, so you can ask questions about Kubernetes, security, or cloud platform, anything. He is a veteran project manager and IT expert. He is in this field for 26 years. So a lot of questions or queries he can answer if you have any questions. Anyone? Uh, and Jahid,
I have a question. I
you
have
have
a question for the
Hmm.
audience actually. Yeah. I'm quite interested to know that if anyone in the audience have used or deploy Kubernetes environment as a project or
Mhm.
heard about the infrastructure, have the knowledge of little bit of knowledge of Kubernetes from the previous experience of their colleagues or someone else.
Hmm. In Bangladesh, are we using Kubernetes? If anyone answer from the audience.
Assalamu alaikum, bhai. Yes, we are using Docker as container and Kubernetes and Amazon's EKS service. So what I understood from Bhai's speech or presentation that the container part is the Docker and the orchestration is done in the Kubernetes, right, Bhai? Correct me if I'm wrong. So I have that
Yeah.
basic idea, and we use Amazon EKS service. So I know a little bit about this since I am working as an EM, engineering manager. So yes. Would you please suggest me some learning resources or YouTube channels where I can, get hands-on about this technology?
There are few learning resource. If you can go through the cloud, I think is code cloud,
Good
or
cloud use.
yeah, so they have very good resource of Kubernetes, in depth actually, and it is close to latest ones, because if you when we I presented my presentations, I talked about Docker because that's a known name most of the people's. But nowadays, what Kubernetes does is actually they use a container IO kind of thing, so which is kind of a wrapper on Kubernetes cluster. So any it depends upon the engineer, like platform engineer, what kind of um, environment they gonna use, because there are few incident. It's Kubernetes itself has a Docker kind platforms where you can deploy, so that you can do which one you want to use. So they, I think is last 1 year they are using that ones. So there are latest changes on Kubernetes clusters. So if you go to the cloud guru ones, sorry, code cloud, they have almost latest ones actually, because they're Kubernetes clusters is not only to deploy the Docker platforms. In the background, their monitoring is very important for that one. So that you have to integrate with and deployment, automated deployment, Argo CD. There are
Yes, so we are using Argo CD and GitHub Action. So yes, the CI/CD
and
pipeline
Helm,
is yes,
because
yeah,
Helm is another ones to auto, because those are the new tools. It's not.
yes,
Yeah, because I started using Kubernetes since 2019. It was not there on the time, actually, to be honest, because they
yes,
introduced latest things. But it is, those are powerful in a sense that because it's reduced a lot of manual works also, because slowly,
yes,
because it has a bigger benefit, because when you see any, like nowadays when you web host anything, it's most of them 90% is runs on the Docker, because very small amount of resource. It used to be runs on the virtual machine before. Now they runs on the Docker because to
yes,
um, yeah.
yes. Thank you, Ray. So I will get some idea from the resources and yes, and I think Kubernetes is open source as well, as I know, right?
Yeah, and that's another benefit. You
Yes,
can run in your own environment, and
yes,
you can test. Yeah, because the application teams, they can run Docker and do their testing, and as a platform engineer, you can also do some
yes.
testing on the
Like you
Kubernetes.
were telling about the monitoring part, we are using Grafana and those things.
Yeah,
So,
Prometheus, Grafana.
Prometheus,
Yeah,
Grafana, yes. And is Kubernetes connected with them, or I have little idea about that part.
yeah,
Uh,
no, because normally Kubernetes cluster, there are third-party tools used to be, but like Fluentd is another ones which forward all the logs to those, because all the logs on Kubernetes, it's real time. It
okay.
doesn't store the logs like metrics logs, monitoring logs. It doesn't capture or store on the
Yes,
Kubernetes cluster. If you want to get those kind of thing, it's like on a laptop, on live, you can see your resource utilizations, but it
yes,
normally doesn't store. Same thing here, because it's require more, because Kubernetes cluster require more resource to produce kind of thing. So then it use Fluentd type of tools to actually forward those logs into different system like
okay.
Prometheus, Grafana, Splunk. It could be the metrics data kind of thing, or the
Yes,
logs can be. So
yes.
then
We
you can create
also
alert
use,
based upon that. So
yes,
it's just provide the platforms, but monitoring part kind of it's add-ons, which is important, which you can do with the like other tools. And
okay.
historical data also, like
Yes,
Fluentd gives you the historical data, like um, how much resource is used, last week or last year kind of thing. So if you keep those data, you can produce those graph or utilizations information.
Understood, bhai. Thank you for the discussion. So, no more questions.
Thank you, Arbav. So if anyone have any question. So Kubernetes is required for larger platforms, larger users, or everyone can use Kubernetes.
It's basically what happens is it can use larger platforms or small organization also, because the thing is that in a larger platforms, the old applications you deploy in a single servers or like in a cluster environment, say for example, the old application has a small part of it. Think about Kubernetes help them to deploy in a microservices kind of thing. So say banking application, if I give an example of the banking application. Banking application has a lot of function. It has a user registration part. It has the transactional history parts. It has like getting like connecting to other systems also, say for example. And the user can get their historical data, say for example. As a user on the interface, you can see everything in a single board, but in the background, those small portion of thing you can runs in the background with a small Docker image kind of thing, say for example. Okay, like transactional history, it runs in a different. So what happens, like say for example, if you wanna send a message from your banking applications to you for, or bank want to send you the notification if any fraud happens. Okay, so that's could run in a different Docker image. The good thing about it, if it doesn't impact the whole applications, if anything goes wrong, it actually goes wrong on the microsystem, like a small application, a small portion of the application get impacted if there is any issues of the application. A lot of cases the issue happens because of the integrations, because system need to connect to the database, system need to connect to the outside application to the get the information. Like if they need to get the information from bank, need to get the information from another bank, say for example. Okay, so if there is a network issue, that it not able to pull that information. So your dashboard will impact on that part only, not the whole things. In the old days, if you have an issue, the whole application might impacted. Okay, because you monitor that one, the application fails because single portion fail, it actually fails the whole application. So the impact is huge. Now the impact is partial kind of thing, not impacting those things. So it's give a lot of benefit. But it has a challenge because it's not moving that fast, because lot of application require huge resources like database and those things. A lot of cases that is database is sitting on the physical hardware or cloud physical servers like EC2 instance or those things. They don't run on the Docker container because of the resource utilization. Okay, but the connectivity portion and those things, those small things get into that ones, because the Docker image then can get the information from the database, because you cannot database portion, you cannot split like one function of the database, you cannot split into the Docker image kind of thing, then the communication. So that most of the database is actually banking transactional database sitting on the physical server, but the small database like the user registration informations that can sit in the Docker image, like if you have small amount of.
Okay, thank you. So I have a basic question. Is Kubernetes is a developer or programmer's thing, or it is a infrastructure or system thing? System guys or infrastructure, who those are maintaining infrastructure, that's guys' concern, or this is actually everyone's concern?
It's really good question, to be honest, because if you look at the Kubernetes certification part, they have divided into three parts kind of thing. There is a part where the certifications they provide is platform admin kind of thing, which is for the platform. There is a certifications for developer who need to know how to deploy the application, because when you deploy the application, although we are talking about it does automatic restart, it does failover everything, it's resilient, but the developer, when they deploy the things, if it doesn't follow the guidelines what Kubernetes gives, it will fail. So they need to understand how Kubernetes works when they deploy. And it has a security part, which is a very challenging one in a sense that if you, because it's a shared environment, say for example, and it's to some extent is good, you can separate the security, like segregation of duty kind of thing, like the application which need to know only the information they need to know, you can provide that access rather than giving the whole permission for the application. In old days, when you run in a single application, you give the whole permission for the application kind of thing. So there is a security holes. If the hacker get into the system, they can almost get access to all the information on the system. Now, what happens? If they break into a system, they can only get only that portion of the information, not the whole things kind of thing. So that's why security part is also a part to know and learn actually kind of thing. So definitely it's platform admin. They need to, when they deploy that one, then the platform may need to know the, like the instance, like physical servers environment, if they're deploying in the physical servers. If they deploy in the cloud, they need to know about the EC2 instance, say for example, or the instance where they're running on the cloud. They need to know about the storage, how it is deploying the Kubernetes. They need to know about the IAM roles. They need to know about how they keep the secret, because when the different system communicate in the Kubernetes Docker image, when we're talking about the microsystem, but the microsystem need to communicate with the another microsystem. So when they communicate, they use like API keys or user access kind of thing. That's also need to be placed into a secure way, so that when they communicate, that not visible into the logs, that not doesn't visible in the skin kind of thing. So yeah, so that's why it's, there is a platform admin. We need to have a certain knowledge about to deploy the cluster, and developer also has to know not only their application which they are deploying, they need to know about the Kubernetes cluster.
Okay, thank you. So I think it is almost 2 a.m. in your place.
Yeah, 2:15. Yeah, 2:15.
2:15 a.m. So very late night. So if anyone has any question, we can take another one question and then we can close the session. If you have any question.
Shahid bhai, this is Nipun. Sorry, I think I missed your last call. I was not in a position to respond to you. Now my question is to Masood bhai. So I was listening to you and the questions and answer session. I'm just wondering. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm a government officer working at Bangladesh Customs. So I just want to know, since there are many systems, many automation systems in NBR. Right now, there is the world. Customs uses this system, and this is developed, and this has been developed by UNCTAD. And there is also kind of tax return system, so by which the people of Bangladesh can submit their online return through online. And there is also another VAT system, IVAS. So how, I think all the systems are right now separated. They are not connected. So how this Kubernetes system is can be helpful, can be useful to combine, to integrate all the systems?
Yeah, good question, Nipun. Definitely, it's because it's a say for example, when you want to integrate different systems, because I work in a banking sector, say for example, so when we need to transfer a transactions to a different bank, it happens through the online system. Okay, so the communication between bank to bank need to be done through a secure way. So what it does, if you look at the latest development, there are a lot of APIs is developed by the banks. I don't know about Bangladesh whether they're developing the APIs, because in modern systems, all of the system, like if you go for booking systems, even ChatGPT, say for example, there are API systems like API developer API kind of thing. Developer API means that you can automate the systems, you know. So what it does, the API gives you the benefit of giving the permission only for the information you need, not beyond that once. Like you can get the information what you need, not more than that kind of, because it's a wrapper kind of thing. And there is a governing body kind of thing. Okay, so there is, like if it is open banking or something, like for example, there is a governing body who control that what are the things has to be checked before the it can be handed over kind of thing. So there is a centralized system. Like if you talk about government, that could be like internet facilities. Say for example, Bangladesh has a central thing, right? I forgot about the name. Like who control the all internet things, right? So every internet kind goes through that once. So it's kind of guardrail they put into place. So same thing, if those systems need to talk each other, there should be a governing body kind of thing to see the control. And the system can provide the APIs kind of thing where they give the specific permission what they need kind of thing. So it is a way forward in the future actually. So basically, a lot of cases in Bangladesh, it happens through the calls over the phones and kind of thing to get those information, or through the paper by specific permission what they need kind of thing. Sorry. Sorry, I
Probably there
missed the.
was a noise. Probably there was a noise from some other
Okay.
account. Okay,
So,
Masood bhai, I was just wondering because right now, since the systems all are segregated, they are not integrated. But so kind of say for example, one businessman import some items. For example, say he imports any consumable items, but when he sells the importer sells those items in the local market, we cannot actually integrate the custom system with the VAT system, because if we can do it, then actually that we can track how the businessman, where it is he's selling these items, we can track, and how much amount he can sell. Then we can actually calculate those numbers and can collect adequate amount of VAT. At the same time, what the businessmen do, they do not provide enough correct information in their online system. So we cannot integrate all this system. Right now, what we are now facing challenges in the NBR, right? That just
that's why government need to involve actually here to enforce those rules actually. If they don't provide those things, or because it's not only government has to push those compliance requirement, and it's the system also need to support those things, you know, because without, like, because if you do automations kind of thing, you actually do the regular check kind of thing. You minimize the human errors kind of thing. So
Mhm.
if you say for example what you talked about, certain thing you have to check, if you put into a systems who can check it automatically, that give you more accurate information rather than a human because human
Mm-hmm.
mistakes kind of thing, because
Right. Right.
the number, they can miss the number, or the name, the check might be wrong or different because there are certain information. So those things is not only it, there are two things comes in. One is government has to put the legislations to comply for exporter, and at the same time the system has to support that ones, so it doesn't come up from a single source. It's come up as a combined force,
Yes.
because because the the way it's going, it's government losing the revenue here, actually, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. The most benefit is going by the exporter, say, for example, but that's can increase the revenue for the government also if they use that, because there is no hidden things kind of thing, here.
So for so if for so what is so what I understand that, so for integrating these all the separate systems, Kubernetes can be the solution, right? And there can be one system which will be kind of all the system are containerized, and there will be a kind of
Kubernetes,
one system
yeah,
that
Kubernetes
will, yes.
Kubernetes is helping, like, what are the things are internet facing that, say, for example, Kubernetes can help them to deploy in those areas. Like, if you need to communicate with another system on the local government, you know, you need to build the local network, say, for example, right? That's is also called. So, but if you can go via the internets, say, for example, that's increase the risk. But having said that, implementing Kubernetes is not itself building an application, is giving a platform for the application to deploy. Do you understand? It's not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the applications you can deploy on the Kubernetes, and it can help to run smoothly. It
Okay.
can do
Okay.
the security checks in the background, but
Mm-hmm.
application like APIs or anything
Mm-hmm.
what I discussed, which can be deployed in the Kubernetes. Do you understand?
Okay.
It's not actually
Okay. Mm-hmm.
giving the connectivity between the systems,
Mm-hmm.
It it is going to giving you the platform. Say, for example, the old days, the platform is the physical server, right? You run the application in a physical server.
Right.
Okay. The physical server has a lot of resources. You have to buy the system, takes time to implement. For a small projects, it might takes a longer time, like 3 months, 6 months, or something. But if you have an environment where you run the Kubernetes, where you deploy the thing, you can add those small feature to communicate between the things on the Kubernetes cluster. You don't need to buy new resources, kind of thing. And even the thing is that when you deploy, you don't know how much load would be impacted. Like, you bought a server, say 4 CPU, 5 CPU server, then you realize that system is not enough. Okay. Like, think about the
Mm-hmm.
virtual environment. What happens? When virtual environment came, that reduced a lot of physical server requirement, because that gives the similar kind of benefit. Kubernetes and Docker is on top of that. Okay. Even though virtual machines give you the servers, which you need to install the whole operating system, which is a load actually. In Kubernetes, in a Docker image, you deploy the application, and you need the OS resource and current resource minimum ones which you require to run the application. The size of the image will be like very less compared to the OS. So it's reduced the resource uses also. Okay, so that's and the benefit of it is that when the application developer deploy their application, build their application, they test it on their laptops before they deploy into productions. Kubernetes itself not a it's just a platform like physical server, like
Mm-hmm.
virtual, you understand, which hosts the applications. Clear? But having said that, physical server doesn't have any monitoring system inbuilt. It cannot
Mm-hmm.
restart the application. You need to use the clustering software, right?
Mm-hmm.
On, which is extra cost. Virtual environment is similar. although it's reduced the cost of less utilized physical servers. If the physical server has more resources and you can develop virtual server, you can actually minimize the cost. But still, if you run the application on the top of virtual machines, then you need to use the monitoring software. Like you need to use the cluster to deploy the things. If the virtual servers, one server fails, on physical server fails, the virtual server running on the system, then you need, it has to fail over to another system. So
Okay.
it is similar
So,
actually.
Masuda, can I ask you another question? I don't know what it is. So it is a kind of running late. So can I ask another
Yep.
question?
Yep.
Okay. So I want to know from you if say InBev wants to kind of integrate these three systems using deploy these three systems in Kubernetes platform. How much money does it cost for the government if government wants to take a project for deploying this in Kubernetes platform? Just kind of, I just wanted your opinion on that. How much money does it require for the government?
Its cost wise is very less compared to the application development. But the thing is that the benefit of is you are not purchasing any software. Like Kubernetes software is free, say for example. Okay. But on top of it, if you need the support of the system, you can buy the support kind of thing. Old days, operating system you have to buy, like Windows operating system you have to buy, say for example. It has an upfront cost. Physical server, still you need physical server to run the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, but if you use the cloud, you can start with the small EC2 instance kind of thing as a
Okay.
proof of concept kind of thing. It's, do you understand what you are saying? If you are not running a modern system, say for example, as a proof of concept, you can spend a very little amount of money to test whether it works or not. Rather than in
Okay.
the old days, you plan the project whole thing, you don't know whether it will be a success or not, and you paid upfront, lot of upfront cost. Do you understand?
Okay.
So this is for proof of concept. What you do will be very less, and you can, if you see it's not feasible, nothing, you can actually postpone that once. It's kind of agile. You move into different things because if your applications, because you have to rewrite the applications, to be honest. Okay, so if
Oh.
you have to rewrite the application in a sense that if you are running an application which is a legacy application which might not support the Kubernetes cluster. Like if you are running an application with Python like 2.34, 2.7 or something, or you run an application with COBOL or something, that will be a challenge to move into the Kubernetes cluster. It's more reliable for the modern system kind of thing. So when the old system, a lot of cases, cannot handle the loads, and that's why people moves into the modern system to handle the loads, and then Kubernetes is the best solution for them. Is it clear?
Okay. So you were saying that I have to rewrite the kind of application that right now custom is operating. That is exactly the work, right? I think it's
Yeah.
kind of a very difficult task for NPR for writing the application.
Yes, definitely. It's not, that's why that's why in my presentation I talked about the complex challenges is if it is a old system, very old system, it's difficult because you have to kind of, it's not lift and shift kind of thing, you know.
Okay.
You have to redesign the whole thing. You have to do the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yes.
understand? But if you are planning a new applications, like custom is using a new application, rather than putting into the old infrastructure, you build a new Kubernetes, put their applications, connect with the old system, and facilitate that one, and slowly actually move into the Kubernetes cluster. Do you understand? You
Okay.
don't put into the new system, new features, the small feature of the application into the old system, you put into the Docker image. That's give you a lot of benefits actually. And that's how people are shifting from old system to.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, Masunto.
Okay, our time is already up. Huh? So just one question I received from the LinkedIn platform. Just, I think with this 10, 20 seconds, we have to answer because we are already running short of time.
Okay.
I am a financial professional. Can I get the certification of this security system or Kubernetes? Is it will be helpful for him or it will be very difficult for him as a financial professional? Is not having any technical expertise.
No. It will be a bit difficult because if you are financial professional, say for example, it's you have to have the background of the platforms kind of thing to get the security, because to get the security exam kind of thing, you have to have the platform certificate knowledge, and then you can actually get the security certificates actually. So first you have to work through, know the platform, how it is worked, because this session is non-technical people, just to understand, to handle the project and the impact rather than actually the physical impact or physical implementations of that ones. That's will going to handle by the platform engineer kind of thing. Okay, but if the project managers want to learn more about them, they can go through the code cloud course and those things, they learn. But it's you need to have the physical knowledge of the environment kind of thing. But it is easy, I would say. It's not that hard to get that once. If you go through the course and those things, you can get the certification kind of. You have to have the Linux background kind of thing. So
Okay. So he or she need to have some sort of technical knowledge. Otherwise, it will be difficult to grab the concept of Kubernetes.
yep.
Okay, so thank you very much, Masood. You are very late night in Sydney. So Masood actually agreed that he will take some classes for Kubernetes. So we'll let you know the plan, how we are going to conduct those sessions. That will be practical hands-on session on Kubernetes. So I will let you know who joined here, and also publicly in social media, I will inform you. So if anyone have any interest to learn more on Kubernetes, he can learn there. So thank you everyone for joining into tonight's session. Thank you. We will see you in next sessions. Thank you. Bye for tonight. Bye for today.
Thank you. Yep.
Bye. Thank you.